All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. We had a request today to react to a story of when Xavier McDaniel disrespected Michael Jordan, and then, as you all know, Jordan got his revenge. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. I found a video that covers this topic, and I'm happy to see that it was by BTM Basketball Time Machine. Love this guy's channel. In case you guys don't know, I covered him once before. And yeah, it was the original YouTube channel for basketball that got me watching YouTube basketball stuff. Hell, I mean, you could say I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So anyways, we're gonna watch this together. Should be a fun time. And I'm gonna link the original video for BTM in the description down below if you want to watch the video without my commentary. And for everybody else, if you could leave the video a like, I'd appreciate it. It really helps it a lot. And yeah, without further ado, let's check this out. I think I remember this story. I'm just not 100%. I'll probably remember it as it goes on, though. Here we go. Oh, dude, I missed this intro. Bam. Dude, that's classic. When is this? When was this from? 3 years ago. No wonder why. Yeah, I love that intro.
Hey folks, how's it going? I'm Sean David. Thanks for tuning into my show. Let's talk some old school basketball. All right, in this episode, I want to talk about one of my favorite rivalries between the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls, and how a certain player with the name Xavier McDaniel challenged Michael Jordan and kind of had to pay the price for that. But before we start with the show, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreons. Thanks a lot, you guys, for supporting the show. It's really appreciated. And enough said, let's dig right into it.
Fucking love it. I love it. All right, here we go.
And McDaniel and Pippen are having words. Kirk O'Donnell separates the two. That's number 2 on the X-Man. The timeout was called. Both clubs.
We used to call him the X-Man. That was his nickname. Had some awesome posters back then.
Going at each other, Michael Jordan and Xavier McDaniel having words. Double technicals were called on McDaniel and Jordan.
Yeah, he's standing up for Scotty, man.
Now, if you haven't heard of Xavier McDaniel, let me give you the backstory. I got you covered. Xavier McDaniel was the 4th pick of the 1985 NBA draft. And after 4 successful years in college, Xavier was on the list of many NBA teams. The 6'7" small and sometimes power forward had a great all-around game. Drafted by the Seattle Supersonics, Xavier got a lot of responsibility right from the start. And he paid everything back, averaging 17 points and 8 rebounds in his rookie season.
Nice
the
rookie
following
season.
year, he even dropped those numbers and started to average 23 points per game as well as 9 rebounds per game. The Seattle Supersonics at that time were a team that on good nights could beat the NBA champ, but on other nights also lose against every other team. In 5 years with the Seattle Supersonics, Xavier McDaniel would always average over 20 points per game, except for his rookie season, of course. Another thing that was really special about Xavier was that he was a player that nobody wanted to mess with. He was one of the most feared players in the entire league, and therefore also loved to get in fights.
Oh yeah, he fit right in with that era of New York, the New York Knicks.
McDaniel runs the floor.
There's little Muggsy.
Swats it away, but McDaniel prevails, and he's got 6.
You guys remember Muggsy Bogues in NBA Jam back in the day? The dude would steal everything. And it was true, though. That's really how he played.
It's almost by Charlotte. Muggsy right there again in the midst of everything.
Oh, wow. Larry Johnson leveled Xavier McDaniel, and now more may break out.
Well, I predicted this was going to be a tough game, and Xavier McDaniel's right in the midst of it.
Another thing that also stood out about Xavier McDaniel was that he was always ready for a challenge. This guy was simply fearless and loved to go head-to-head with the greatest players in the league. Sometimes he came out on top, and sometimes he didn't. One of the most remembered stories next to the Michael Jordan one that we will talk about soon was his duel with Larry Bird.
I get a charge when I tell someone on the opposing team that I'm going to hit the last second shot and then do it. That's what it's all about.
Tie game, 13 seconds to play. Celtics basketball.
During the timeout, I'm going through a play, and about that time, Larry steps in and says, Coach, why don't you just give me the ball and tell everybody to get out of the way? That's Larry. And when he wants the ball, he wants the ball. After the timeout, we walked back on the court, and then Xavier was guarding. So he tells Xavier, he says, I'm getting the ball.
I said, I know I'm going to be waiting.
All right, this is a bonus for a bunch of you guys in response to the greatest trash talkers ever. Y'all are in my comments saying Larry Bird. I agree with you 100%. Greatest trash talker ever. But this is just one of those, like hundreds of stories of Bird doing that exact same thing you guys were talking about in my comments.
He said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to shoot it right in your face.
Yep.
10 seconds. 5, and Bird has the basketball.
Double team on him.
Look out.
Bang.
Larry Bird just phenomenal the way that
He came out when right about that exact spot and shot a shot right in my face. And, you know, he was like, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock. I wanted to shoot it with 0 seconds on the clock. I walked back to the sideline like, damn.
Now, as we all know, when Pat Riley took over the New York Knicks, fans in the beginning were very skeptical, to say the least. How would Showtime basketball work in New York? But what nobody knew was that Pat Riley had a different philosophy in mind. The New York
He went with the Detroit Pistons philosophy, the bad boys.
Knicks should become a fearless, no-nonsense team with many enforcers who could punish every opponent. Pat Riley already had Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley. Now they wanted to have Xavier McDaniel. He would be the perfect fit, a tough-nosed player that could also score and play 2 positions. Great. Only problem was that not too long ago, Xavier McDaniel and Knicks power forward Charles Oakley kind of had a situation not too long ago.
Because on Saturday night at the Garden, Charles Oakley advanced his reputation as NBA tough guy as a result of his fourth quarter tussle with Seattle's Xavier McDaniel. A reputation such as this is expensive to maintain, $7,500 each and a 1-game suspension effective.
Pat
This is the 90s, folks. This is what it looked like. People were freaking warriors.
Riley still wanted Xavier McDaniel, and so he became a New York Knick. The Knicks were a title contender in 1992 and would face their bitter rival, the Chicago Bulls, in the Eastern Conference semifinals. A series that would become one of the greatest battles in NBA playoff history. And before the series even started, McDaniel said that he was not afraid of Michael Jordan and he was a lot tougher than MJ. And when the season started, it looked at first that McDaniel was right.
We just came off a very convincing series against Miami. We thought we could waltz right through New York.
Yes, sir. Oakley just.
Yeah, it was bad boys all over again for the Bulls. They never got a break, dude. They never got a break from teams like this that were just freaking wrestling out there.
Came over and annihilated Bill Cartwright.
And showing tenacious defense. 3. B.J. Armstrong was spot up that shot. That's a violation. It'll be the Knicks ball.
We anticipated them playing them a certain way, and they came out totally different. Physical, hungry, aggressive.
Chicago is a confident, cocky team. They've sort of breezed through the league all season. They breezed through the first round of the playoffs, and right now they're being challenged.
Big jam by Ewing. They are stunned here in Chicago Stadium.
Surprisingly, the New York Knicks would win the first 2 games in Chicago. And even though Jordan still got his buckets, the Knicks made sure that they would beat MJ every single opportunity they get. Especially McDaniel took it really far.
This is Madison Square Garden in New York, the home of the revitalized New York Knicks. A sellout crowd turning out for Game 3 of the best of 7.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize who didn't get to see the era that the numbers itself don't tell the story. So, I mean, it's super impressive. Jordan was always getting 30 points a game and shooting 50%. But imagine doing that while getting hit constantly, thrown on the ground, all kinds of crap happening like that. You know, you're getting pushed, shoved, hit, thrown, you know, body slammed, and you're just getting up over and over again like it's a freaking Rocky movie. And you just keep getting up, and you're still that efficient. That's what makes Jordan different than anybody else, you know, that we consider a GOAT.
All right, thanks, Marv. I talked to Michael Jordan about his
Young
lack
Ahmad.
of dunks and his lack of driving to the hole. And he said, you know, there's 2 reasons why I have not gone in the paint trying to dunk. One named Ewing, the other named Oakley. Makes sense to me.
Here's Jordan. Williams able to get to the loose ball, but he's followed up. Jordan with the recovery. And Jordan
Bang.
is fouled.
Yeah, look at him.
The basket counts at the bottom. Michael Jordan very upset about the way he was muscled.
What Jordan's upset about is Xavier McDaniel rotating across, just basically goes after his body to try and stop it. Jordan with the strength, the concentration, and now he is upset because he
I love that. I love that clip so much.
And he lands the wrong way. That could be the end of the season.
Michael Jordan got really mad. Also, the comments Xavier McDaniel made about him motivated MJ more and more. The Bulls would turn the series around and take it to a Game 7. And again, Xavier McDaniel went under Jordan's skin. But this time, it was the last mistake.
Timeout was called. Both clubs going at each other. Michael Jordan and Xavier McDaniel having words. Double technicals were called on McDaniel and Jordan.
What we said a moment ago down on the baseline foul that Jake O'Donnell was stepping in to send the message. This is step number 2 in the message sending process. The next one, someone's going to be ejected from this basketball game, which is a very serious step.
To the center position.
And actually, Cliff Levingston first warned the official as Greg Anthony ran into his first screen in the backcourt, and then when he did it again, the whistle blew.
Yes, and a count. In this first half, Clifford with the steal. Here's Jordan. Yes. King missed the first 2 games of the series with the flu. Sat out Thursday night with a bad throw.
Oh my
Here's
God.
Jordan. Splitting through.
Damn.
Jordan with the steal.
And a steal.
And then it's stolen by
Oh, yeah.
Starks.
Watch the swipe.
McDaniel
Bang.
chased by Jordan. It's a clean block.
That's what it looks like, man. Best on both ends.
Whose game is it? It's Michael
Jordan's game.
Michael Jordan would drop 42 points that game and sent the Knicks back home. Again, MJ proved that he's simply the GOAT, and the Bulls, of course, went on to win another championship. Alright, you guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do me a favor, if you want to hear podcasts with me and former NBA legends, please check out the Basketball Time Machine podcast. You will find it on iTunes and on Spotify. And if you want to be up to date what's happening in the NBA right now, you can check out my website. It's basketball-timemachine.com. Enough said. Take care and goodbye.
Man, I got to check out that podcast. I really like this guy. Oh, man. Yeah, turns out I do remember that story. That's a classic. Like, that's when the rivalry between these two teams just, like, lit on fire. But, yeah, what'd you guys think of it? I could watch these kind of stories all freaking day, every day. It's such a huge part of my childhood, watching people just try to bully Michael Jordan. And then you see the look in his eyes where he just looks like a psychopath. And then he destroys you. I've seen it so many times. Just like we get those stories about Larry Bird predicting where he's going to shoot it, how he's going to look, you know, and whatever. Like, Jordan had those. He didn't do that where he said, I'm going to get the ball right here and I'm going to shoot it. He would just, like, if you trash talked him, he kills you. Like, he really wants to go out and embarrass you and kill you. It was a fantastic time in basketball. Man, I miss it. All right, everybody. I'm always up for suggestions like this. I wouldn't have thought of reacting to this if it wasn't for the awesome comments that I get every day. So, yeah, leave it in the comments if you got another Jordan story you want me to react to. Something like this. I'll see if I can find it and put it on the channel. And, yeah, like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more. And I'll see you all tomorrow for the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.